Today's show is sponsored by Earth Friendly Products. For over 40 years, Earth Friendly Products brought you the greenest home products for all your family needs. Learn more at ecos.com. That's ecos.com. Now, let's get to...
What's your thoughts on government cover-ups or covert societies attempting to control humanity? Do you believe in ancient astronauts, intergalactic communication, or extraterrestrial visitations? Ever had an experience with disembodied spirits or the paranormal universe? Are these subjects fact or fiction? Each week, Tony and Eddie explore these unbelievable realities and beyond. Exclusively on Truth Be Told.
Welcome to Truth Be Told, where we believe an experience becomes truth. I'm your host, Tony Sweet, and along with me now is world-renowned psychic Eddie Connor.
Thanks, Tony. Today we're launching the show with the Clairvoyant Master Healer. Karin Inana Solo has been a professional healing arts professional for most of her adult life.
And Karin provides full spectrum healing, which addresses all layers of the human energy field.
She specializes in repairing the energetic structure of the aura,
spiritual surgery, and past lives healing.
That's right. Karin works closely with the help of the Divine Master Council, which we'll talk about later in the show. In 1990, Karin discovered her gift for hands-on healing. This began her quest in studying the multidimensional field of spiritual energy healing. She has since become a pioneer in the art of self-healing by synthesizing a radical new approach which uses all facets of the multidimensional field, again, which we're going to get to talk to her about later. Karin is a graduate of the Brennan Healing Science School and the Art of God Life of Choice program. She is also the founder of Heart Flame Healing, and she's developed the Reclaim the Power to Heal Yourself program. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome our clairvoyant master healer, Karin Inana Solo. Yay! Welcome to the show. How are you doing today, Karin?
Hi, Eddie. I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Tony and I are so excited because I've been bragging about you for a while now.
A long time.
I know. So I want to launch the interview out first by saying I have had personally 3 sessions with Karin already. And I learned about you through a mutual friend of ours, and her name is Lori. And she was explaining to me, she's worked with lots of healers, and Lori has, and I'm not going to talk about it on the air because I would not do that, but she has gone through some extensive medical things, and she was the one who turned me on to Karin first. And she and I both share a healer who is wonderful. And long story short, she was telling me about you. And then I went to see Karin first, probably not quite a whole month from today, I think. Is that accurate? Maybe
it's probably a month ago. Yes.
Okay, and I'm one of those people. I'm an intuitive. I do psychic reading, so I have a tendency to live from up in the sky, in the heavens, and the stars. I don't like Earth as much as I probably should, but now I do.
I think you're getting to like it more now, don't you?
Yeah, so much more, and I'm like happier and more grounded than ever before. So
Good.
I'm the type of person that does not go and usually do anything for myself until I have to. So I'd gotten myself in a kind of a pickle, and personally, I ended up getting migraines and cluster headaches and huge light sensitivities, and I would just spontaneously start vomiting. And it not even directly connected to the migraines. I was feeling down and worn out and exhausted. And whenever I don't feel good, I don't do readings because I don't think it's appropriate to do that.
Makes sense.
So, of course, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling like death gnawing on a cracker, and I need to call somebody for help. And then Lori turned me on to Karin. And then I drove out to see her. And I love how you talk about the heart energy because you are so the heart energy when you work on us. And she comes from such integrity and authenticity, and she just holds the space in such a pure way that my first visit there, I would explain to my friends that are coming to you now, I would say it was very relaxed. It was very passive. It was very gentle. It was peaceful. And they're like, well, it's got to be more than that because you sound energetic and happy and vivacious. and I was like, yeah, but I feel relaxed. And so she explained to me literally that my root chakra and my sacral center were pretty much shut down, which is how you ground yourself. And that was the first session. The second session I went in, she did her magic again, and I'm like zippity coming. And then the second and the third time I went, I'm back to my old self. I have not in 1 month had, and Tony knows about this choking thing that just comes out of nowhere. I think we were here one day working and it happened a while back, and no headaches, no sensitivity to light. No spontaneously vomiting. It's like, yay, hi, Eddie's in the room. He's a supermodel. He's going to vomit now. And I attribute every bit of that to you and one little piece of it to myself in that I'm doing the work she gave me to do. And so, and let me tell you how strenuous the work is, everybody listening out there all around the globe. She said, you need to walk. You need to go outside and smile at nature, and you need to walk around your neighborhood a little bit and get back in your body. So that's my homework, and I have not been sick since, and I'm back on my game. I'm so happy. It's redonkulous.
Wow, that's great.
So now, with that said, Karin, I want to launch with a few questions. Will you help the audience understand, first of all, when you talk about providing full spectrum healing, which addresses all layers of the human energy field, will you first explain to people what you do and what the, quote, human energy field is in layman's terms for our audience?
Okay. So when we talk about the human energy field, it's really the aura that we talk about. And most people have either heard about the aura a little bit, and then, now people know a little bit more about the aura. The chakra system is part of the aura. And what most people believe or know is that the aura...
I think we just lost her.
Uh-oh. Are you there?
I think we lost her. So
Okay.
we're going to try to get her back for the people that are listening or and watching. We're trying to get a hold of Karin Inana solo, and she's going to talk about the energy field, which is called Aura.
We're also going to ask her, because she specializes in repairing the energetic structure of the aura, as well as spiritual surgery and past life healing. And she works closely with the help of the Divine Master Council. We're going to be asking Karin all about that so that we're all on the same page. And we love that she's going to be breaking it down.
Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and then there are layers within the spiritual, reality that were very specifically supported. Yes.
Okay, so we lost you there for a second. So it's funny, we called you back and you answered and you were still going. So maybe that's something.
Phenomenal.
The energy must.
I'm sorry, I did not even notice. Where did
as
you?
As soon as Eddie asked about
me?
the energy field, that's when it cut out. And then wow,
this is remarkable
because it went click.
Yeah, because I asked you, and so you spoke about the aura, and then you started to explain the chakra system, and then the phone went out.
So the energy must have.
Yeah, and it went black, and then Tony called you back, and I'm explaining what you're going to be talking about with spiritual surgeries and the Divine Master Council, and you were still going. That was phenomenal.
So yes, I was talking about the aura and the various levels of the aura and how our aura is really a really dynamic system that supports us in all ways, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And that as far as, my current understanding is that it's the go-between between the physical body and our spirit. The aura really anchors our spirit to the physical body. And whatever happens in the physical body, unless it's an accident, it happens in the aura first. So you can see an illness coming into the field, how it slowly builds itself, certain kind of diseases. When, somebody doesn't feel good like you, you were not feeling well and you didn't really know what it was. And most of the time when people find me, they come to me either because they have been to a doctor and the problem hasn't been able to be addressed so that it got resolved, or, they've been referred to me. I look at the field and I look for the distortions in the field, and I look for the distortions in the chakra system. And of course, if I don't see any distortions, this is why I do phone consultations before I see people, usually, in most cases. Sometimes people insist to just come and see me, but I just like to look at people's field over the phone so that I can talk to them, and I know that I can help them, because if the field is in order, then there is nothing really that I can do. But 100% of the time when people are calling me, they're saying, I have this problem, or I have pain here, or this is what's been going on for a really long time. I can see it in the field. So, for instance, when you came and saw me, I looked at your field, and, I could see that your grounding chakra. And is it okay that I talk about the details?
You have permission to speak about anything you want to, because I know it's going to help a lot of other people. So yes, please.
Yeah, so I could see that your grounding chakra was non-existent, and your second chakra in the back. And, there were several places that were distorted or knocked out, like a part of your power grid wasn't functioning anymore. And the aura has such vital importance to our well-being that when you address the aura specifically where it needs to be addressed and mend the aura and restructure a chakra, most people don't even know that part of our energetic support system, the aura, can be repaired. And that's really, really important knowledge to get out there, because as you know and as you have experienced, you address the aura in the right way and you repair it, you have immediate, tangible results.
I love that you said immediate and tangible, because it was for me, especially in my line of work. I expend, as you do, an enormous amount of energy out, and I was not restocking or replenishing my power grid, as you say. And you spotted it immediately. And one of the things that you did in this last session, well, first of all, the first and second and third session, you use a pendulum as one of the ways to decipher how big the chakra is, or if it's spinning or not spinning. Will you explain that to the audience, how you do it? Because when she held it over my root chakra and sacral center, they weren't doing anything. That thing just hung there like a limp noodle. I'm not. And then the second time I go, it was like a helicopter blade. It was spinning so strong.
Yes. So the pendulum itself, and I have had this particular pendulum for 16, 17 years, but it's just it's a piece of wood that has been beautifully crafted, and it's most people probably know what a pendulum looks like. It's on a string, and it's balanced. It in itself has no power. What gives the pendulum the power? It's a tool to make something visual that I already know. So it gives me a very quick information of something that I already know. But what makes the pendulum move are the fine bones in my wrist. But also, the pendulum helps me connect to my greater knowing immediately. So it's just a very quick way to get the knowledge that I already have, but it makes it visible. I could also be sitting with you and just scan your field and your physical body, and it would tell me, the same information, only that you wouldn't necessarily see it.
Yeah, and I, as a client, I love seeing it because the title of our show was "Truth Be Told" with Tony and Eddie, and what you see in non-physical in your third eye as a master clairvoyant healer, you know it is true. It's truth. It's your truth. It's your reality. But for a client who comes, I think the pendulum offers, quote, the physical proof of the intuitive truth. And so you've got,
Yes.
it's the scientific evidence that what you feel, sense, and experience in an energy field is backed up by what that pendulum does.
Yeah, and it's without failure. You know, it allows me to to very quickly look into somebody's, you know, physical functioning, into their field. It's a beautiful tool, and I'm really glad I have it available. You know, not just for me, but so that others can, you know, see that immediately as well.
I love it. Now, this past time, I have been to many healers, and I'm clairvoyant myself, and I'll hear things intuitively as well. So I have this sort of extra bonus time whenever I'm with Karin because I get to see what's going on around me. So this time we were working on the solar plexus chakra, and then she held over. And by the way, I see a nutritionist too, and you say some of the identical things that she will say when she's muscle testing for new supplements: the spleen, the gallbladder, the liver. All of these things were just sort of, they were working really, 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 really hard when they didn't need to be, because she knows I like sugar.
Yeah.
Sugar doesn't like me, but I like sugar, and I'm learning to sort of wean myself off of it. So my solar plexus chakra, which, tell me if I'm right, is where the self-esteem, self-confidence, artistic, creative expression lives in the human body.
Yes, it's the solar plexus when we put our hands right at the place where our ribs come together, above the navel, and you know, some people would say it's our personal power center. It's our third chakra. Governs quality of thoughts and belief systems, but it also governs all of the vital organs that are there: the liver, the gallbladder, the stomach, the pancreas, the spleen, and also part of the small intestine. And in society out in the world, we're functioning a lot from the third chakra to the, you know, often to the detriment of the second chakra, because we're not encouraged to feel our emotions and to take that into consideration as well. Or, you know, also to come from the heart. When people are balanced, then, you know, we take our emotions into consideration and we feel with our heart. We're not just coming from this place, which is really an outdated place of personal power. Personal power at its best is our unique individuality expressed.
That's a great way to say that.
Yes, and you know, that really happens best when we're balanced, when we're grounded. See, when we're not grounded, the first chakra, and if you don't mind, I'm going to backtrack a little bit to help those that don't fully understand the aura and the chakra system, you know, that it's a system and how it works together. The first chakra, you know, comes in, it's like a cone, and it comes in at the perineum, and it goes down into the ground. It governs the legs, and it also governs the spinal cord. It governs the knees and also the hips. And the functioning of it is also it creates a bridge between our physical body and the earth. And what that does is it allows us to release stress that we have accumulated into the earth. And the earth takes it and moves it back into creative energy, but also we are then receiving nurturing earth energies. What happens is when this energetic structure is no longer functioning, because we are overriding it with our will, because we don't eat when we need to eat, we don't exercise when we when we need to exercise and we don't get enough sleep. We're overriding the messages that our body is giving us, because when you have a healthy first chakra, you receive the messages that your body is giving you. And then it's up to us to feed ourselves and to rest when we know, and to drink enough water, and to eat the kind of foods that are important for us to eat, or to leave, out sugar and caffeine. So when we override the first chakra enough, it will stop to function. And in many cases, I've seen it hasn't been functioning for years.
Wow.
Then the stress accumulates in the physical body, and we can no longer release it into the earth. Then, one is not able to be as much in the resting state. Mm-hmm. There tends to be more anxiety in the body. I always think of restless leg syndrome. I want to know what their chakra looks like, their first chakra.
I know a lot of people.
And then, there is a slow erosion of the energetic system and also the physical body that then creates these chronic conditions where one is always tired. If your second chakra in the back goes out, a really common symptom is lower back pain and feeling exhausted.
Wow.
Tony's
I'm raising my hand because I'm always exhausted. My lower back always hurts. So.
Yeah, and when the third chakra goes out in the front, because too much energy, too much mental energy has been pushed through there, go, 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 and, personal power over everything. And, personal power is really an outdated term, because it's never power over anyone else. If you're really in your personal power, so to say, is, the full expression of your being through your uniqueness, then you're 100% supportive of others, and others are 100% supportive of you, so that you can give your gift of individuality and uniqueness to the whole and contribute to the whole. So what happens is when we, push through the third chakra, too much mental energy, too much coffee, too much sugar, and too much mental activity, what happens is we get tears in the chakra. There are these, and you described it to me so beautifully because you were watching it as it was happening in the chakra. The screen came back on again, because each chakra actually has 7 layers, and on each layer there is a screen on top of the structure. And when these screens burst, then you have energy leaks where, you might get heartburn, and your digestion isn't quite functioning the way you want it to. And, you might have a burning or a stabbing sensation. So one can go to the doctor and you can get medication. But if the energetic structure doesn't get addressed, then this is likely to become a chronic occurrence.
Wow. And I'm just going to throw in there, every time I speak to her, I learn something new. And I've been studying for 25 years. And whenever I was on the table this past time over the solar plexus chakra, since that's what we're talking about, I saw these 3, for me, honest to God, they look like little ghosts. Just these 3 little ghosts came up. Staggered, that came up out of my solar plexus, and then 2 more little ghosts came up, and they look like those ghost cookies at Starbucks at Halloween. And then they came up, and then they disappeared, and I was like, girl, I just saw da-da-da-da-da. She's like, oh, those are like energy things, and they're leaving your system because, and then they did work with these little, little tiny aquarium fish nets where they go in and get the guppies.
Right.
These 2 beings during aspects of this psychic surgery came in and were scooping out the little, what looked like tadpoles in my solar plexus that looked like baby little ghosts. And then they went up. And then after that, I was like, this is so weird. They're like doing a macrame screen or shield over my chakra. She said, oh, they're rebuilding the screen over your chakra. And I went, what? And then listen, and I'm a really good psychic. I love what I do. I love what I do. And I love to see and hear, and I like specifics from spirit that nobody can know. And I still have always gotten that. But since you have worked on me, people have been freaked out because they'll sit down and I'll go boom, boom, boom. And they're like, stop it. They'll jump up off the sofa and walk to the other side of the living room. They're like, how do you know that? That's not on Google. And I'm like, well, I'm not supposed to be looking on Google.
You're saying your clairvoyant ability has increased?
Through the roof.
That makes perfect sense because you are being strengthened in your in the gift of your unique individuality. So as your aura is coming fully online, the gift that is yours to give, of course, increases.
Wow. And I've been doing my art. I've been creative again. I've been walking more, and I love movement and exercise. I wasn't doing it. I've been doing it ever since I've been seeing you. And if I don't do it, I get crabby.
Eddie, I just love hearing this. This is why I do the work. And I get this kind of feedback back all the time that, something that, you really didn't have the energy or the inspiration to go and walk, and now you're enjoying it, which is just so wonderful because your field is functioning in the way that it is supposed to, and it is supporting you in you being fully who you are in the world, supporting you, giving your gift, and nothing makes me happier than that, and that you're enjoying yourself.
I am a happy camper, and I get more energized as I do sessions now, as opposed to feeling depleted at the end of the night and eating a whole pie, okay? So will you explain and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I had to throw that in there because I have never, in all my years, I've been psychic since I was 4 years old, I have never seen anything like that in my own energy field or anybody else's. So it was remarkable.
When you say you have never seen, what is it that you're talking about? The little ghosty things that came out of your third chakra?
Yes.
Well, what they are they're little astral critters, and they are of lower vibrational frequency, and because they're and I remember in the session that you got the insight about the sugar, that sugar is the higher vibrational frequency we are, the less we can digest foods that are lower vibrational frequency, and sugar is a pretty low vibrational frequency. So it's like putting sand in a tank, right, of a car.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really work for you. But these what you call little ghosts, they are. They actually have their own little consciousness, but they're lower vibrational frequency, and because your third chakra and your wherever they were hanging out in the gallbladder or the spleen, because it was backed up, they sort of made their little nest there because it was like their own frequency.
Yeah.
And so as we increased the frequency and cleared it out, there was really no place for them to be anymore. But if then again you go into the old habits and then consume sugar, it would likely create that same condition again.
Yeah, and I'm on the verge of segueing out of that. I have a trainer that I'm going to start with next week, and to get myself back in shape. I'm still struggling. I know I have a sugar addiction, and now I can psychically see and physically see evidence of how it's affecting me because of you, which I appreciate. Now, we're going to take about a 15-second break, and then we're going to come right back and connect with you in about 15 seconds.
We'll be right back. This is Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie. I'm Tony Sweet.
I'm Eddie Connor.
We'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eddie Connor. In May of 2016, I'm taking a group on my Explore Spiritual Peru World Tour. I would love for you to come and join me on this trip. Again, it's May 4th, 2016. We're going to go to Lima, Cusco, the Sacred Valley of the Incas, as well as Machu Picchu. And to find out more, check out the full visual itinerary at eddieconnor.com or call the office at 818-388-5695. Thanks. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie. I'm Eddie Connor.
And I'm Tony Sweet.
And we're with Karin Inana Solo, who is a clairvoyant master healer. She works with layers in the human energy field, and she also specializes in repairing the energetic structure of the aura, and does spiritual surgery, which I've got to experience all of this with her so far. And we're working our way up through the chakra system. She's breaking some things down for the audience, and I love that you're able to do that, Karin, in layman's terms, in ways where we get these beautiful pictures in our mind and we can understand it. But I also want to ask you, before we're off the air today, I want to ask you about how you receive help from the Divine Master Council.
How I receive, okay.
Yeah.
Well, probably have to backtrack a little bit. So I'm, when people come up to me and say, who are you? What do you do? And in the past, I used to say, well, I'm a healer. And now, because in the past, I, as you know, I don't really touch you very much. In the past, I used to do all of this work that you're experiencing by hand. So I would be over your body doing all of this work. But being a healer, and what I say now to people is I'm a healing presence, and not only I am a healing presence, I'm an ambassador to the spirit world. And what that means is that I make spiritual energies, raw spiritual energies, knowable and usable for other human beings for the greater good of all. So all my life, I have been training for this work without even knowing it. And when I went to Healing Science School, Brennan Healing Science School, I started a regimen with myself where everything that I studied, because I studied to be a healer, I figured out a way how to apply it to myself. And I started meditating even more and working on my own field and repairing and building my own aura. So I have learned over the last 17 years how to do anything that I learned to do for others, also to do for myself.
Wow.
To repair my aura, to repair all of my chakras, to go into incredible detail, even to the point where I can regulate my own hormones, which is just an incredible gift to me. And, of course, I can do it to others, but the fact that I can do it to myself is really, really, really wonderful, because that means I can teach it to others as well. But what really, I'm not doing much at all. And that's, in some ways that's true, and in other ways it's not true, because the whole 18 years that I've been working up to this all, provide the framework for what I'm able to do now. So by evolving my own field and going in and repairing every weakness in my field and even upgrading my field. So I've continuously upgraded my field and increased my vibrational frequency. And I meditate every night, every morning, and I've become very sensitive to the messages that are being given to me by spirit, my multidimensional assistance team. So over the last 18 years, I've really refined my ability to communicate with those wonderful light beings that are helping all of us, and build a team for the purposes of healing. So I have a large team to choose from that becomes present whenever I work with others or myself. And there are various light beings, and you have seen them. They're, available. They make themselves available in healings and also often otherwise, and they're in service for the greater good of all. Does that?
That answers that beautifully. And you're the first healer I had ever gone to who, and this is how I tell the people that will be seeing you soon, and that is, you're the first person I've ever met. You talk to us in the beginning, and then we get on the table. You test the chakras with the pendulum to back up what you already know, and then Karin stands at your feet, and she's holding the space there for a little bit, and then she comes over to the side and sits next to you and holds the space from there. You're the first person I've ever seen do that. So in my mind, intellectually, on a physical level only, at first I was like, I've never seen that. About 10 or 12 minutes of holding the space, and then you're sitting next to me, and I was like, I could
Why is she sitting next to me?
That's what my left brain was doing. I was like, girl, please. I'm like, please. And then, but I could feel it. And that's why I say it at first it feels passive, but quietness, relaxation is hugely powerful, especially if you're not used to being in that space. And then listen, I have seen some of the members of your Divine Master Council, and I'm not joking. It's big. And I've got funny guides anyway, but she's got some people on her team that make mine look like amateurs. I mean, that just
no, never.
Yeah, they cracked me up, and Karin too. I mean, the Kale cheerleaders and all that other stuff, and then the little guppies and the ghosts. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Well, I have a quick question before you guys go on. I was thinking that, like most psychics, they can do over the phone, Skype. As a healer, is it always have to be in person, or can you do healing through the phone, Skype, or other areas?
Great question.
Oh, yes, I regularly do. Some of the people that I work with, I never talk to them or I never see them because maybe, their family hired me, or usually it's the family that hires me, or the parents for the kids, or the kids for the parents. And no, I don't have to be there. I don't even have to talk to a person. Of course, it helps to for the person who's receiving the healing to understand the process, but it's not necessary in order for the healing to be effective.
Okay, because I'm going to use an example. Currently, my mother is in a nursing home.
Yeah.
And she's 76 years old, and she's getting to an age where she can't hardly walk, and a lot of her ailments she's had for years and years and years and years, and a lot of them were not inflicted but self-caused. And so, is there a point to where a healer can't help somebody's either body or spirit unless they
help themselves,
or can you still help somebody even though they resist?
That's a very good question. Generally, it is best when a person is in agreement, but when there is, let's say, you're saying, let's give my mom a session. Right. And that often happens. It's usually the children, and they're, really concerned for the parent because they're in a hospital or they're not doing well, and they don't, they feel like their parent doesn't really believe in this kind of work, or they don't even want to, because it's too much, because they don't understand it, and they understand the mindset of the parent, so they will just forego telling the person about it. And I can work on a family member because it's within the family, it's within the blood. I cannot really, if a friend hires me for a friend, I can't really do it. And I always check it out, like, is it ethical for me to work on that person? Am I allowed to? And I will always do that. So I've had several cases where, the mother didn't know. Actually, there's one story is on my website if the listeners want to go and, are interested in that story particularly, is it's about spiritual surgery. Healing Through Spiritual Surgery, I think is the title of the article. And the woman had she had a nose transplant because she had cancer of the nose, and her new transplant just wouldn't hold. And her daughter hired me for the mother who was in the UK, and she said, we have to, first of all, I had to figure out if it was okay for me to do it, and then it was a stealth operation. And meaning not, she didn't tell her that I was working with her. But what happened is that her state of being just improved so dramatically that the daughter took a risk and told her and said, look, I've been having a healer work with you, because there were some steps that needed to be taken before the issue of the nose could be addressed. And she got better and better and better, and the ultimate victory was that the work that I did with her helped to, for the transplant to hold. And so I don't know if I transgressed from what you were asking me, but
No,
that
great.
is what came to mind.
That's great.
I love it, because what I'm seeing in my mind as you say that is energy knows no boundaries, and pure positive energy is a higher frequency that can traverse time, space, reality, and dimensions and parallel universes. Is that accurate?
Absolutely, yes.
And then,
absolutely.
And then,
And even if somebody doesn't believe in it, but this woman certainly didn't believe in it, it helped her tremendously. And when her daughter finally told her about it, she was very happy to receive the help. And by the time it was about, addressing the energetics in preparation for the operation, she was fully online and really and really engaging. And it was an ultimate success, which helped her hold and heal the transplant.
I love this. And I love how you do it, because again, one of the images I get as you're holding the energy space, the healing frequency for your clients, even she's in UK and you're here in Southern California, I can literally see through your connection with the daughter, aka the bloodline, the cells, the atoms, the molecules connected to that energetically. And we have a light flickering in the studio as we're saying this. I think that's very auspicious. And then you send that healing energy first. I love the fact that she did not tell her mother, because if she did tell the mother in the beginning of the process, the mother could have consciously or subconsciously denied the healing. Is that right?
Well, yes, we do have free will. We do have free will, and if somebody absolutely does not want to accept the healing energy, it will take place, and I can see the change in the field. But if they're not fully receiving it and are willing to receive it, then it will also be undone. As you remember, in each session, I begin the session by. It was a little invocation, and invite you into the invocation, and by saying it is my choice to fully receive the healing on all levels of my being. Right? So I do this with everyone at the beginning of the session, so that you're stating that you're really willing to receive the healing on all levels of your being, and you make it your choice.
Yes.
So if somebody makes it their choice to not receive the healing, then it doesn't fully land, and it doesn't fully take hold.
And that's what I was going to actually say next. And I love that you beat me to it. But it is true, once you're on the table and you're in that place where the energy is starting to move, I love that you put us on the same page with you, so that we stay aware and conscious and able to receive it. I remember on my second session, I was there, and I don't know why, in my mind, I started thinking about something that had been getting on my nerves for probably the reason I was getting migraines. And then that was right after the invocation, and I'm sitting there in my mind sort of going through this toilet water of images that was connected to this person that irritated me, that I allowed to irritate me. And then the guides said, that had already started working, they said, look, you can choose to allow the healing to come to you and through you or not. It's your choice, dude. You can lay here and just take a nap and relax, or you can receive what we're here to give you. And I was like, oh, my Lord. Now, I didn't tell you that because I didn't want you to think less of me, Karin.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. And then right after that, sure enough, as soon as I got myself back on the page with the invocation, it was like I was plugged back into the sun. I will never, ever be able to articulate where I was feeling like, poop on a shingle and death gnawing on a cracker. I mean, I was in bad shape, and it takes a lot for me to ask for help or do something for myself. And after the very first session, you start feeling like you're plugged back into your soul. You're plugged back into your heart, your purpose. And you do that with us, and it's remarkable.
Yes, yeah, and I'm so glad that you're saying that, because it reiterates that if we address the field in the correct way, and there is always a most powerful place to go to. When somebody comes to me and says, this is going on, I have this problem, and I look at the field and the first chakra is distorted and the heart is distorted, and a lot can be affected in the field, and then I can see, of course, this person is feeling terrible, and it might be about their digestion, and I work on the first chakra, and they go, well, but it's my digestion while I'm here. We have to address the system in a specific way to establish the grounding first, and then work our way up so that there is a container in the field so that the healing really lands in the most powerful place. If I was, to work, if I had worked on your third chakra and not addressed the first chakra in the first session, it would be like pouring water into a broken glass.
Yeah, now that I've been on the receiving end of that, it would feel like it would be like pouring the water in a broken glass, and then I would probably have some spurts of energy, but then burn myself out twice as bad as I already was because I didn't have the foundation with the root chakra and the sacral center to back it up.
And there you go. You go.
Great.
Yeah, so it's really important to go to the place that really needs to be addressed. There's always a most powerful place to enter into to receive the healing that will support the overall healing process in all ways.
Well, and you're the clairvoyant master healer. I can't imagine somebody coming to you and going, the trouble's in my stomach. Why are you working on my root chakra? You know what you're doing. That's why you're there. We literally have about 2 minutes left. And so people who want to get in touch with you, can go see your picture. And here's why I want people to see your picture. When you see Karin's picture, you literally can feel the light emanating off of her. And you can feel that it's the heart chakra energy she's coming from. The website is heartflamehealing.com, and we've been showing that the whole time that you've been up. And let me tell you what just happened. What happened, Tony?
One of our lights went out.
That has never happened since you and I have been doing this show. For how long?
Almost 2 years.
Literally, a light just went out, y'all. Let me tell you, I look
better in the dark, but hey.
I'm thinking I look better too, actually. So we're going to sit in the dark and just feel, we're going to be like Helen Keller. We're going to reach over and feel ourselves through this. So you can go to heartflamehealing.com. We've been talking with Karin Inana solo. She is a clairvoyant master healer. Of course, we're going to have her interview up on YouTube and
iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker. Tune in, yes, and you can go to truthbetoldwebtv.com and check out all of our past episodes, and this one will be up probably in the next day or two.
And I know Tony's on board with this, so I feel like I can say this safely without asking for permission first, because we're a really good team here, and I can tell we're going to have you back down the road, and at some point we'll have you in studio so that people can see your radiant energy here. And then I just want you to do some of your magical stuff, just like even sitting across from Tony. So just bewitch him.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. I would love to come to your studio, and I would love to be on the show again. And thank you so much for having me. It's so much fun to talk with both of you.
And thank you so much. And I'm serious. I'm actually thinking about trying to work with my mother, because I really, I think I asked that for a personal reason, and I think
I would be honored. I would be honored.
And I think she would be willing. I mean, if I did it, my daddy, he probably wouldn't. But my mom would be worth it.
And
I mean, she would be.
And I was thinking, I'm thinking the same thing you are. And I wish I had known you before my mom passed this year, because it would have been an even more graceful, smooth, heavenly transition than it already was. I just know that about you, Karin.
Thank you. Thank you for seeing me.
No, please. Girl, I'll be back. I'll be back.
All right. Thank you, Karin Inana Solo. Thank you so much. Go to heartflamehealing.com and get your session. And also you can just check out all of the information about her and the amazing stuff she has to offer. So
it's a whole lot of good stuff. It's got contact information, the endorsements, the Brennan Healing Science School, the session services. It's remarkable. You're going to fall in love with her like we did, everybody.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And we'll talk to you soon, and have a great, great week.
Thank you.
All right. Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, Eddie, I loved her, and I'm so glad you got her on.
Yay.
And she was great. I've learned a lot, because we've had healers on before, but she was, I think, the most articulate when it comes to how she heals, and how she definitely is. It's not a challenge, but a pleasure to hear what she had to say.
And a lot of healers don't work on themselves as readily, and I'm guilty of this. We don't work on ourselves as readily as we work on other people. Right. She's got that beautiful balance. She's also got a remarkable medical background in Germany before she even came here, and then other things she does that it was not enough time to go into, but I mean, the real deal. Everybody on our show's the real deal.
Right.
That's why it's called Truth Be Told. But Karin, there's just something uniquely otherworldly, special, high frequency, authentic, and sincere about her that you just can't deny.
Yeah, and lovely. She was very lovely. So, All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. We have another hour. If you guys are tuned in live, you could call in and do a psychic reading with Eddie, Jamie, and Eli. They're going to be all three psychics in studio. And you can call 323-284-7826. But we're going to be coming back here in about 8 minutes, live with the next broadcast of Truth Be Told. And I'm Tony Sweet.
I'm Eddie Connor.
And we'll be right back right here on Universal Broadcasting.
Bye, y'all. Hi, everybody. I'm Eddie Connor. And whenever I'm not co-hosting with Tony Sweet at ubnradio.com for the Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie show, I'm a soul intuitive. When I'm not doing the hosting and I'm not being a soul intuitive, I get to take people on spiritual world tours. In May of 2016, I'm taking a group on my Explore Spiritual Peru World Tour. We're going to depart the United States on May the 4th, and the actual tour starts on May the 5th, and it's a 10-day land package from there. Now we're going to fly into Lima. We're going straight to Cusco, Peru. Then we're going to be going to the Sacred Valley of the Incas as well as Machu Picchu. I'll give you a little bit more of a detailed itinerary in just a second. If you want to find out more about the tour, please go to eddieconnor.com. That's CONNER. You can call the office at 388-5695. That's 818-388-5695. Or you can email me at eddieconnortours@gmail.com. Now I want to tell you a little bit about the specifics of the trip. On May the 4th, we're leaving the United States and we're flying into Lima, Peru. And on May the 5th, we're all going to meet in Lima. We're going to get on a flight together as a group. It's a highly spiritual group, and we're going to fly into Cusco. And there we're going to start our sacred sites walking tour right away. Of course, we're going to decompress because the altitude is really, really high. On Friday the 6th, we're going to Cusco, Chinchero, and Sexy Woman. Now, Sexy Woman is remarkable because it's these gigantic stones. When you stand next to them, you literally are the size of an ant. Some of these stones are as big as gigantic buildings, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories high. The remarkable thing about Sexy Woman and the fortress there is that they look like giant labyrinth pieces of puzzle that have been cut by a laser some hundreds of years ago and then strategically placed. And they've had lots of earthquakes and natural disasters. None of those structures have ever fallen. On Saturday, May the 7th, we're going to visit the Maris salt mines, and that's in the Sacred Valley of the Incas. That's the area where we're going to do private shamanic rituals. We're going to be working with 2 Quechua shamans. They're going to take us up to do a Pachamama ceremony where we'll get to commune with Pachamama, which is Mother Earth, and also the Apus, which is the masculine earth energy, or the mountains there. And we're going to do this in a cave really high up in the mountains. It's a life-changing experience. On Sunday, May the 8th, we're going to go deeper into the Sacred Valley of the Incas. And then on Monday, May the 9th, we're going to visit Ollantaytambo, and we're going to be coming into Agua Calientes, which is the community in the jungle along the Urubamba River at the very base of Machu Picchu. And then, of course, we're going to get to explore Machu Picchu. On Tuesday the 10th and Wednesday the 11th, we're going to be spending lots of time in Machu Picchu and Huayna Picchu as well. This is really the meat and potatoes of the trip because this is where most of the big, heavy vortex energy is. And it's where you get to open your heart. And the great thing about Machu Picchu is this. Whatever your energy is, your frequency, your thoughts, your feelings, it is amplified tenfold or more in Machu Picchu. And you'll get to experience that for yourself. So our group, which is highly spiritual, we like-minded individuals who all come together knowing that they can create the kind of reality they want. When we're there, we have past life bleed-throughs, our dreams are enhanced, our psychic abilities are heightened. There's almost like a telepathic connection, not only with the earth, but with the people in our group and the people around you. It is a life-changing experience. And on Thursday, May the 12th, we're going to be heading back to Cusco, and then we're going to go back to Lima, and we fly back into the United States on May the 13th. I'm Eddie Connor. I would love for you to come and join me on this trip. Again, it's May 4th, 2016. We're going to go to Lima, Cusco, the Sacred Valley of the Incas, as well as Machu Picchu. And to find out more, check out the full visual itinerary at eddieconnor.com or call the office at 818-388-5695. And also, every Friday, make sure you tune in to ubnradio.com to hear Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie. Thanks.